This is NHK Newsline. I'm Kaneko Sakno in Tokyo. We continue with our earthquake coverage. People in southwestern Japan are reeling from a series of earthquakes and aftershocks. 29 people have been killed since Thursday. Officials say weather could play a role in the disaster. A magnitude 7.3 earthquake hit the Kyushu region early Saturday. It's the same area that was jolted by a powerful quake 2 days ago. The Japanese seismic intensity scale measures the degree of shaking in a range of 0 to 7. Saturday's quake registered 6+ in Kumamoto Prefecture. Nearly 2,000 people have been treated for injuries in hospital. Officials say more than 90,000 people in the prefecture have evacuated their homes. Utility services have been disrupted. Hundreds of thousands of households are without power, gas and water. The quakes are also affecting transportation. Officials at Kumamoto Airport cancelled all flights for the weekend. Sections of highways are closed. The Shinkansen bullet train service is suspended. Japan's only operating nuclear power plant is in Kyushu. Officials say there are no irregularities with the 2 reactors at the Sendai plant. The minister in charge said regulators have determined that there's no need to suspend operation. Officials warned that torrential rain through Sunday could pose a further threat to safety. They're calling on people to be careful of loosened ground and possible landslides. An NHK reporter is in a helicopter over Minami Aso village. The area is popular with tourists who visit nearby Mount Aso. Residents and visitors have been unable to get in or out as landslides have blocked roads. So self-defense force personnel have arrived to help. They've started airlifting people to safety.
This building here is Hatama Hot Springs. Hatama Hot Springs, nearby there is a landslide and roads have been severed. Nearby this landslide site, you can see a parking lot and people who have been cut off are gathering to this parking lot due to all the roads being cut off. There's been people who've been isolated in this area, and the SDF are escorting such people. At the center of the screen, we can see a young child together with an SDF member. We saw her fall because of the strong wind due to the helicopter, and she will be harnessed together to the wire and up to the helicopter, airlifted. And the SDF member has just signaled the helicopter. So now the SDF member is rescuing this little girl. Among the guests and residents and employees observing this rescue operation, the first of them are being rescued and airlifted into the helicopter. There are about 10 people who are being escorted onto the SDF helicopters. One after the other, the people who have been cut off from any roads are now being airlifted out of this area.
An NHK cameraman described how the area appeared from the air.
Huge landslides have hit Minami Aso village. We can see an electric power plant halfway up the mountain. Landslides have struck various points around the facility. Fences surrounding the plant have been swept away. You can see large cracks in the road nearby. Let's look at the mountainside. Water is cascading down the mud face, and large stones lie piled at the bottom, along with what appear to be parts of a building. The water is very muddy. Many trees also seem to have been scattered, along with many large and small rocks. Toward the right of the frame, you can see a residential area. A huge amount of mud has swamped the houses here. Rescue workers in blue have been conducting operations since before noon. You can see one house that's badly damaged. Heavy machinery has been mobilized to help the efforts. It's been reported several people from the area are missing. Other houses have been inundated by masses of water and soil. Broken parts of the homes lie scattered here and there. Cars have been engulfed by the mud. We cannot see the wheels of the small white truck in the middle of the frame. The landslides have all but swallowed the area.
NHK reporter Naoki Makita is in Kumamoto City, the biggest city in the prefecture.
I've seen cracked pavement, broken windows and fallen roof tiles everywhere. The earthquake early in the morning caused further damage to this city, and some buildings sustained major damage, including this one. This was a 7-story apartment with a car park on the ground floor. But when the quake struck, the pillars on the ground floor collapsed. I can't get any closer to the building, but we can see a couple of smashed cars inside. Most residents would have been asleep when this happened. The rescue team helped residents out of this building through windows and off balconies. One woman spoke about her ordeal.
The jolt was stronger than the previous one a few days ago. We were scared and hid under the table. The rescue team told us to evacuate as the apartment tilted. It was really scary.
Many people here say they are afraid to stay inside buildings in case of another quake. But there is rain in the forecast. Officials are warning that could induce more landslide, causing further danger. Naoki Makita, NHK World, Kumamoto.
Another reporter for NHK was at the historic Kumamoto Castle. He showed us some of the damage from Saturday's quake.
Kumamoto Castle is one of the city's most recognized symbols. Constructed around 400 years ago, it's designated as a national treasure. On the rampart behind me, until very recently, there stood a tower and a turret. The whole structure has collapsed. In places beneath the wall, you can see only bare earth. Plenty of rubble is strewn around the foot of the wall. There are pieces of timber and wooden posts and fragments of stones. Many are very big. Smaller ones that have rolled here are the size of a human head. On the other side of the castle, another turret has also collapsed. Local residents say there was no damage to the castle before. All of this wreckage comes from the strong jolt early Saturday.
Let's take a closer look at the damaged areas and how people are responding to Saturday's quake. A massive landslide hit Minami-Aso village in Kumamoto Prefecture. It swallowed a section of road and swept away a bridge. An apartment building collapsed nearby.
They have just pulled out someone. The person must have been waiting for a long time to be rescued.
Some people in shelters were seen crying with relief after being reunited with friends and family.
I'm so glad you are safe. Are you all right?
The quake shook a popular hot spring resort in Oita Prefecture. Items in this souvenir shop in Yufuin were scattered over the floor.
I was surprised to see this when I came here. I have to start tidying up.
Officials shut JR Kumamoto Station after panes of glass fell from an outside wall.
The online reservation center. Oh, 보세요. It's shaking again. It's so scary.
It was the second time since Thursday that a strong earthquake jolted the town of Mashiki, just outside Kumamoto City.
The quake caused this building to collapse. It was standing yesterday.
The ground rolled sideways so hard. I wasn't able to stay there any longer. It wasn't tilting like that.
Workers are handing out tarps so residents can cover their houses before the rain comes.
The roof tiles came down. We have to make do with the tarps to block the rain.
Residents are doing all they can to protect themselves while dealing with the fear of tremors. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has instructed relevant cabinet ministers to work on an all-out effort to rescue people stuck in collapsed buildings.
Bad weather is expected from Saturday evening in the Kyushu region. We're concerned about a worsening situation, including possible landslides. We have to put in all our efforts during the daylight hours.
Abe also ordered the ministers to coordinate with local organizations to secure safe shelters. Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshihide Suga later told reporters the government has decided to expand the deployment of self-defense force personnel from the current 2,000.
The government will boost the SDF numbers to 15,000 on Saturday and eventually to 20,000.
Suga said more police and firefighters will also be sent to affected areas. Let's take a look now at exactly where these quakes have struck. You can see many active faults running from the south to the north and also from east to west in the immediate area. These are the epicenters of the two biggest jolts. Experts initially thought Thursday's magnitude 6.5 quake was the main one, and they expected subsequent tremors would gradually get smaller. But officials at the meteorological agency now say Saturday's magnitude 7.3 quake was the primary one, and the jolts on Thursday and Friday were preludes. Aftershocks continue to rattle the area. The epicenters are spreading from east to west. Experts warn that strong quakes may occur over a wider area. Researchers have found a long tear in the surface of the Earth near the epicenter of Saturday's strongest quake. They believe it's a part of the fault that caused the jolt. Hiroshima University Professor Emeritus Takashi Nakata and his team have been examining the area. The deviation that runs through a rice paddy is about 1.2 meters wide. The earth on one side of the line is elevated by 50 centimeters. On the neighboring road, the biggest crack is 2 meters wide. The height difference is 70 centimeters.
I think the finding reaffirms that a seismic fault can become active again after a long pause, and it can trigger a big earthquake.
Now here's your 3-day world weather forecast.